Hello everyone, it's Marisha here. Hope you're well. This is, of course, my Love Your Creativity and Make Money podcast. And unusually, I'm doing it on a Monday. Whereas normally, as you know, if you're a frequent listener, it's normally a Thursday one. And the reason is because today is November the 1st. And it is the first day of November and therefore the first day of the NaNoWriMo challenge. Now, for those of you who haven't done NaNoWriMo or have never heard of it, it's basically the National Novel Writing Month, but now it's more like the International Novel, and people from across the globe of all shapes and sizes and different disciplines all decide they're going to write a 50,000 word novel in 30 days, which means that they have to every day write 1,667 words a day. And you go and do your thing, and then you can go on, you have a little page within the NaNoWriMo.org website where you can every day put in your amounts. It's truly amazing, and I first did it back in November 2009, good grief. You don't necessarily have to start on November the 1st. I didn't even discover it was a thing till, I think it was the 12th of November. I was part of an a cappella group and for some reason found it, and then started then and did indeed do my 50,000 word novel in that period. There's lots of ways people do it, but there's certainly some, even if you've got no interest in doing NaNoWriMo, and it spells NaNoWri, short for writing, MO, month. So there's some great lessons you can learn from understanding why NaNoWriMo works. I've written a few novels that way. Getting it to the second draft and third draft is difficult, but it's so fantastic for lots and lots of reasons. Because you are saying, number one, that you are going to take on the daily discipline of every day in the 30 days of November, I'm going to write 1,667 words. It means you do them. And if you've missed 2 days, it means that you're writing, the next day you're going to have to write something more like, 3,700 words. It really makes you stand up, and it makes you kind of, especially because you have to go online and you can see how, you might have written 2,000 words that day, so you can put 2,000 in, so you can see against a graph how you're doing. So it's got a very short term you get a badge as you go. At the beginning you can start with a draft idea, and at the very end of the month you can copy and paste it all in there. Now NaNoWriMo have obviously changed from where they started, but from the very beginning it was this very short-term focus, 30 days. So there is something about this daily discipline that even if you don't want to write a novel, you could decide for the next 30 days that you're going to spend 30 minutes a day working on a song or working on your film script or whatever. Very short-term, and get that first draft out. 2, they don't stress perfection, they just stress getting work done. Now, some NaNoWriMos will in fact they'll do an outline before NaNoWriMo starts, and then they'll fill in each chapter as they go. But lots of people, certainly including myself, literally just start somewhere and off they go. Certainly the first time I started, when I had no clue and never had written a novel or any kind of book at all, you're like, how do I know what to do? But the idea is you just write, and your subconscious, you've generally got an idea, and your subconscious will fill in more than you know. Yes, you're going to go down weird pathways. Yes, you've got no idea who this character turning up is, but there's something about the trust of producing and accepting that it's not going to be perfect. You're not editing as you go, you're just dumping, because to try and write 1,667 words a day is quite a lot, and there's a real focus there. So the focus is just getting the words on the page. Often 50,000 words is actually quite a short novel, but often I've then carried on and had 60, 70, 80,000. But the point is you start and you just keep going. And there's a case of it doesn't have to be perfect. 3, you can decide whether you're going to just go down random fields and see where it takes you, or try and have some outlines or some cards to start with. That's the same in anything you do. So whatever it is, maybe you do want to whiteboard some chunky ideas that you're going to try and hit, whether it's a film script or a song or whatever. Or maybe you just pick up your instruments and have maybe you're going to decide you're going to write, a song a week, and every day you're going to try and perfect that one song each week. So every day you work on one particular song, or maybe the chorus, the chords underneath, etc., etc. So there's something about allowing yourself to have fun and not worry about being wrong, whatever that means. Number 4, there's something about the discipline of knowing that millions of people across the world are doing NaNoWriMo. And it's amazing because people will write references and all this. And certainly I've been to places where, certainly pre-COVID, where there's a NaNoWriMo writing in various coffee shops. So you'll go into a coffee shop and everyone is there wearing a NaNoWriMo badge often with their laptops, and everyone's just writing NaNoWriMo. There's just something amazing about that. And I remember once reading about a lady who, she had done her NaNoWriMo novel and she hadn't quite finished it, her wordage, so she was literally in the early stages of labour in a hospital in the States, and she was busy doing her novel. There's something about this short period and knowing other people are doing it, we just get it done. It's just wonderful that way. And I guess the next lesson is a sense of accomplishment, because you've done it. You've got the first draft. Yes, we all know we've got to come back and deal with the second draft and polish it. But there's something about getting out of your own way and just writing something, knowing it's not going to be perfect. And the other lesson, I've now stopped, I'm doing this live, and of course I haven't bothered counting my lessons as I've gone, is 30 days is a short enough period to give yourself over to half an hour a day. It's something quite wonderful. You can do that, and knowing that if you miss today, you're going to have to do an hour tomorrow. So whatever it is you want to create, whether it's it might be draw a painting a rough base of painting, or get it to a certain stage every day, depending on how convoluted your work is. A friend of mine who's amazing, called Bruce French, he did a series of portraits which took 3 seconds each, because apparently people reject, they go to the left or the right on a Tinder profile. Within 3 seconds, they decide if they want to see you again or you're no good. So he did every painting in 3 seconds. So there we are. You could do like 20 pictures a day or something on that basis. Another idea is also, if you really don't know what you're doing, certainly when I first did it, I had no idea. I had a very rough idea about the start point of what I was doing. And so the advice is, stop in the middle of a sentence or stop in the middle of the action. Someone's just arrived somewhere. Someone's just got, because then when you come back, you'll have slept with it overnight. You'll come back and your brain will go, oh, okay, I know I'm here, and carry on, as opposed to someone's gone to the lunch and then they've stopped and they're leaving, and then you're thinking, then what? Your brain is brilliant at connecting the next dot, and that's the next lesson, actually, that if you are in the middle of creating it, when you go to sleep at night, you're already thinking of the next bit. Your mind might churn and dream, but it's only when you start putting notes on an instrument, or words on a page, or words in a script, or start painting that canvas, then actually really you can start to create, because you're starting to actually see things in front of you and feel them. You're starting to bring things to life, and therefore they are coming to life, and then they start flying around you. Where artistic ideas come from, no one knows. I like the idea they fly through you, and if they don't, you don't grab them, they fly on somewhere else. How lovely. Nothing like a bit of pressure. And there's the Stephen Pressfield idea that there's a muse, that old Greek idea of the muse in the wall. Muse in the wall. It's right, I've got people texting in the middle of all this, typical. This idea that a muse lives in the wall and comes out and helps you when you create, which means that when you're really good, it's not just you, it's them, and when you're really bad, it's their fault too. The idea is you just need to turn up. So, my final lesson that I can derive from NaNoWriMo, actually there's probably 2, is don't do it if it's going to take away from something else you're doing. It's November the 1st. I'd love to start a new project now. I love new NaNoWriMo. Oh, let me write about. And I know what the next 2 things I could write about. One is a book by the singer Psychic, because of course her first show is the coming of age of her, which I love. And actually the show 3 of hers also really went into how it's called Medium School Dropout, a bit like Greece's Beauty School Dropout. And I was going to give advice, and equally my Queen show, it also, someone said to me on Australia, make an amazing novel, and really I've got all the interviews to be an amazing doc as well. But the idea is that for me to start a new project now, I love the idea. There's part of me that still might, but except for the fact that I'm literally at the moment, I've been struggling with finishing my Get Your Art in Here programme. Get Your Art in Gear even programme. And I have finished the 21 Ways to Get Your Art in Gear, the kind of motivational, practical ideas. And now I'm doing the final edit of the 21 financial strategies for you to fulfill your creative potential and all your dreams. And I got up super early today, so I worked on it for a couple of hours. I've been ill the last 2 weeks, which has just been really annoying, stopped me. So for me to then start dreaming about writing something new doesn't make sense. So we all have a tendency to go after the shiny new toy, which is much easier than dealing with the nightmare of a draft and getting things out the door. We know that, right? We all know how difficult that is. So in my head, I'm going to pretend my NaNoWriMo is actually a draft, as in a final draft and a final edit thing. As long as I every day work for at least half an hour on my program, then I feel I'm kind of doing my own NaNoWriMo. And then the final lesson from NaNoWriMo is you finish it. You're in love with this idea that you come up with, and somehow characters turn up and things happen, and you're like, oh, and they always give you a possibility of a free thing often, so you can print it for free. But of course, you have to then leave it and go back and do the draft. And this is where I've got like 3 or 4 novels in various stages of drafts. My one, The Ride, is on the 5th draft, and My Mother Loves It. It's a thriller, and it's got to be the next thing I tackle. My first 2, and I've even written a fantasy thing that I've not quite finished, because I write my shows, so therefore I can get way overexcited about being a novelist, but I do not get them done. Whereas if I know with a show or a film or a web series, I have to get them done because I make myself get them done by various ways of tricking myself to get work done. So at some point, just because you've created something, if it's not out the door, if it's not a finished novel, is it really art? And that's the question. It's pointless to keep creating new stuff and not finishing it. So at some point, maybe your NaNoWriMo for you this November, because how amazing would it be, well, now beginning of November, if you could get some big projects finished between now and the end of the year. You've got 2 months, right? And then you can give yourself a big tick for that. So rather than starting yet again something new, I've got my next Edinburgh show, a Brighton show for next year. I know what the idea is. Have I worked on it? Am I even looking at it? No, because I'm getting my programme done first. I have to get it out the door. The current aim is November 18th, but let's hope I don't have to move that goal again. So there we are. So NaNoWriMo, you can find it on NaNoWriMo.org. It's for free. There's loads of prizes. They're fundraising. If you want to get involved, even if you're late, go and get involved. Or do your own version of NaNoWriMo, whatever it is you're trying to finish. So there we are. So I hope how is this? This seems to be quite a long little chat, but this was live, so do excuse my mistakes, my everything actually, but happy Monday. I hope you're fabulous, and let's all try and get some more creativity done between now and the end of the year. I think that's got to be the goal. But I still may start my little NaNoWriMo at midnight or something. No, I won't let myself. All right. I am Marusha Trembetska. This is my Love Your Creativity and Make Money podcast. You can find me on @MarishaT, MarySia, on Instagram, on Twitter, on Marusha Trembetska on Facebook. I'm also on Marusha Trembetska on YouTube, and my singing psychic was also part of all that. So hope you're all well. My Get Your Art in Gear program is definitely going to be released before the end of the year. I'm very excited about it, because also I refuse to go into the new year without having done it this year. I will literally, I'm going to knock myself across the head if I don't get it done. So be well, be happy, and get daily creating. Bye.